This is Project the Perceiver, and it kind of excited me when I saw it. I wonder if you can tell why. I've been wanting something like this for quite some time now, and since the older Assassin's Creed games have moved away into a more RPG style that, don't get me wrong, I enjoy, there's that kind of something needs to fill that hole. Speaking of filling holes, this video is sponsored by I'm joking, it's not sponsored by anyone. Project the Perceiver is a new open world game being developed for PlayStation, very much trying to be that Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro with a hint of the older Assassin's Creed games. The game will be released on PS4 and PS5, and while no release date has been officially announced, it's probably going to be one of those E3 classics. Just over a month ago, we were shown our first announcement trailer, and within it, a good bit of gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, it looks goddamn gorgeous. Graphically, I think it is doing something special. From the foliage to the pouring rain, shining and glimmering on armor and weaponry. Of course, this is based in ancient China, so we're going to be seeing a lot of the authentic arms and armor from the time period. There's some really cool wall running mechanics with some free running elements throughout, whether it's wall running up buildings, grappling onto ledges, jumping down, and doing some cool assassinations. Speaking of assassinations, the combat looks pretty easy to use, yet I can imagine sometimes it gets a little bit too stabby and spammy. I mean, as mentioned, it looks very similar to those early Assassin's Creed games, you know, before they went full RPG on us. It was interesting. Assassin's Creed sort of made its name for having a combat system that was a one-button mash fest, at least if you're attacking. Press X to strike, press B to counter when the enemies went a different color. It was very simple, but still kind of fun. And it looks like Project the Perceiver is going to do something a little similar. An attack button and a block/counter button. Your character will automatically face the right direction if you time it well, and cutting through enemies shouldn't be any sort of difficulty. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this ties into the story, because at least with me, I always thought it kind of fit Assassin's Creed, because you were supposed to be this overpowered badass that could pretty much take out anybody. So if that is the same kind of vibe that we're going for here, it makes sense that, well, there is no skill involved in the combat. Fun and interesting, but not very skill based. The fighting looks very satisfying though, from the sound design to the visual aspect of it, the animations, and of course the cool kill death animations. Harder and more varied opponents will come out in certain parts of the level, whether it's just lonely guards that you're able to sneak up on, or it's some more heavily armored people that you're going to have to, well, set aside a bit of your time to train in order to beat. It does look like, however, that a lot of these harder opponents will do a similar sort of attack pattern mechanic, where they pretty much attack you in the same way each time. So after a few minutes, you're able to really look and think, okay, I know how this is going to work, and in turn, dodge and attack at the correct moments. It does also look like you're able to just hold blocks until it's your time to dish out damage, once again adding to that more simplistic combat style. I think that's something that a lot of people might not be too much of a fan with. They kind of do like the skill level, especially in the medieval/historical games. Skilled combat is a big selling point, and I think this could be a sticking area for many people. But then we head out into the more open world, and this is where the boss battle commences. An incredibly romanticized look at combat fighting in the history of China. It really gives a beautiful and stylistic approach and, well, a full-out boss battle, talking and taunting you as you move through. The cutscenes are gorgeously made, along with the sound design and the visual aspects. I think there's going to be a really in-depth and immersive story here. As shown, there's a lot of different landscapes, and really this game is nailing that atmosphere, especially reaching out into those open world aspects. It excites me for what's to come. If this is what we've been shown so far, there can only be a plethora of different missions, terrains, characters and environments to explore, especially if you're a badass assassin like it seems that we're gonna be. There definitely seems to be some missions also set in a fantastical or mythical place with boss battles and fights to fit. Think of it along the lines of an Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where you go to Valhalla in that game and you fight gods. I don't know what's going on with that series. I still kind of enjoy it, but Jesus, it is mental. maybe we could have a game where we fight Jesus. I really like the look of Project the Perceiver. I think a lot of people can sometimes get caught up drooling over this romanticized time period. You know, games that are set in ancient China. People overlook decent game mechanics because they're so excited to get their hands on a game set in this time period. And don't get me wrong, I understand that excitement, but I think the combat, if anything, is going to be the thing that lets this down. But with that mixed in with the parkour, cool free running, and an interesting looking storyline, Project the Perceiver could be that Ghost of Tsushima Serico Assassin's Creed game that we've all been waiting for.